In this video, I'm going to tell you how you can move beyond the intermediate level to actually start speaking English fluently and confidently. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sam. I've been an English teacher for over 7 years now, and I run a free online community to help people become fluent and confident. The first thing that you need to change this year is to stop thinking about English as something that you're learning and think about English as something that you use, like a tool. English is not a subject similar to psychology or biology or history. Imagine you want to learn about the Second World War and you are reading a textbook about the Second World War. In that textbook, there will be information. And if you read that information goes from the textbook into your brain. You might not remember everything and you might not understand everything right away, but with enough repetition and enough practice, then hopefully that information gets stored in your brain and then you know the information. So if someone asked you, hey, when did the Second World War start? You can tell them the answer. Too many learners view English as a subject that you have to learn, similar to biology, history, subjects that you learn at school, because this is how you did learn at school and university or whatever, or even anything now. So, for example, yesterday I was listening to a podcast all about health. And it's exactly the same way. It was a podcast, an expert was being interviewed, that expert has the information, and they are telling me the information, and it goes into my brain. Learners view English this way, and they focus too much on grammar. And grammar is the information that is out there that the textbooks, the videos, the teachers have. And all that they need to do is absorb and understand these grammar rules, and then they will be able to communicate in English. That's completely wrong. You could have the best grammar teacher in the world. That's definitely not me. I hate teaching grammar. You could have the best grammar teacher in the world, and then you could spend a year with them, and they could focus entirely on grammar. And by the end, you could know every single grammar rule in English. And you could do loads of tests, you could produce some sentences maybe, and you could never make a grammar mistake ever again. But if you haven't used the language enough through reading, listening, writing, and especially speaking, you will not be a good English communicator. This is what happens in the education system as well. There's far too much focus on grammar and understanding these grammar rules. And when these people who have good grades in English and they can get into university, for example, in England, let's say they're from China, they apply for to do a degree in the UK. They have the right qualification in English to be able to study in England. However, they haven't spent any time actually speaking to people in English. And when they get to England and they need to speak to people in English, they're like, wow, I can't speak English. However, they will be able to identify if that sentence there is in the present continuous or the present simple. But what good is that? Languages are used to share our thoughts, our feelings, our ideas, our opinions, not for identifying grammar rules. Essentially, the big change you need to make this year is stop viewing English as something that you're learning and view English as something that you use and use it as much as possible. Use English to engage with topics, subjects that you're interested in already. If you're interested in psychology or history, engage with that, but in English. If you do this as much as possible over the next year, you will make significant progress. And if you're looking for a place to use English more, why don't you check out our free community at Deep Dive English? Here you will find everything that you need to use English on a regular basis. We provide you with weekly workbooks which have resources and exercises about interesting real-world topics like psychology, society, culture, politics, things like this. And also we have group calls inside the community where you can come along and chat to other English learners about these interesting subjects. But it's free to join. Check it out in the link below. Once you click on that link, you will be sent to a page where you can join the community for free. There is also a video where you can learn a little bit more about the community. But you have nothing to lose. Give it a go. Have a look and hopefully see you inside. Bye.